Hi, oh, it's filling up. There we go. Today I'm going to talk about Through Time to London by Brindy Wilcox. So this is a older children's book. My daughter is 7, 8, and we read it together. She read it mostly on her own on the Kindle, so it does suit a reader. She's a fairly confident reader. And that's the sort of age it's aimed at, or who enjoyed it in our house, and perhaps a little bit older. So two little dogs, are swept away. I won't tell you how because that might give it away, but are swept away in time and end up in sort of 1600s London during the plague. And because they're King Charles Spaniels, they're thought to be royal dogs. And so the dogs they fall in with take them to the palace in the hope of sort of some reward. It's rather lovely. I liked that the history was real. Bits of it are quite, we had some conversations about what the plague was and how people lived, and that so many people died and that people didn't have fresh water. It did bring out quite a lot of discussion. So I like that it didn't sway away from history, but very sensitive children perhaps would struggle a little bit with that as a topic. But it's lovely. The dogs are brothers and they're very close and they get separated and will they get back together. And it's a real adventure. It's a really good adventure story. Lots of real history in there, so lots of learning in there on the sly, which I particularly like. There could be lots of adventures because it turns out that let's put you out of your misery, the dogs are okay, they're able to get home. But it turns out that there is something very magical going on, and that they may go on other adventures, which we can't wait to read. I hope that they do. It's very, it's well written. It doesn't dumb down to children. It doesn't. It doesn't. I can't even think how to say it. It's like an adult's book, if in how it's presented and how it's written and the quality of it. So it doesn't sort of lose anything by saying it's written for children. I enjoyed reading it as an adult. It just happened to have dogs in, which obviously an adult book probably wouldn't. But it was really good. We enjoyed reading it together. There were some complex words in it, but more as an extension, I think, when you're learning to read. You do need a few in there to learn through. There were a couple of bits that were a little scary. Just my daughter was a bit, will the dog survive? But all was well. So there's nothing stressful in there, unlike some other children's books I've read that were not sort of age appropriate in terms of content sometimes. Not that I think we should shy away from difficult topics with children, but I do think we need to be thoughtful about where we add them in. So we enjoyed it very much. I was just trying to show you some of the writing, but obviously on the Kindle it's just normal text. But it was really lovely, and we liked that there were so many characters. So there were the two doggies in there when there was the royal dogs they met, and there were the kind of street dogs that they met. There were some horses and also obviously people in and out. I loved how the dogs interacted and understood the world around them. So I loved that because they'd gone back in time, they kept asking where the cars were. And of course there weren't any cars, and the dogs that were helping them didn't understand what they were looking for either. And it was very clever. It's a very cleverly written book, and that quality I think does come through. Someone's taken a lot of care and time to put this together, and as I say, I'm hoping Brindy for more adventures to go on. And, you know, you could go to any point in history, couldn't you, really, with Two Little Dogs? I think that's just it's a genius move. And I'm looking forward to tackling, you could teach children so much by reading this, you know, fictional book, but which has this really nice quality to it that means children are embracing elements of history and asking questions and finding things out without it being sort of shoved down their throats. So definitely, please some more. Thank you.